Okay, before we commence, let's take a few moments to worship the Supreme One, the Infinite Compassionate One, the Sublime One, the Undefeated One, the Supreme Buddha. To do this, can you all be upstanding and recite Namaskar? Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Okay, you may now be seated. You know, living through in life, when we meet a person, to start a conversation, we start off by saying, "How's life?" I want to take a moment and dig through that a bit. So, I'm going to ask you all, how's life? And I'm guessing most of your answers are, it's good, it's fine. I had a good day, I had a bad day. Your answers may vary. But I want to take a moment and look at what we call life. I'll take a moment and look through the many years that you've had. 14, 15, 16, 17, 20, no matter how old you are, you've all lived life. So let's look at our lives. So what is life? Some people may define life saying, I was born and now I'm living. Some people will define life saying, it's what I'm doing right now that makes me alive. But I want to show a new perspective of life. You see, what do you do? So I'm guessing most of you go to school. Most of you, obviously after you go to school, you have a lot of homework to do. And you do your homework and the next day you give the homework in to your teacher. And some of you probably in your free time play games, go on social media, WhatsApp, Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, and probably tap away. But if you look at life, aren't we always in search for something? In search for something. We need something. First of all, we always try to solve the problems we have in life. We all have problems in life. Think about it. Raise your hands if you like waking up in the morning. Well, I know I didn't. That was a problem for me. Problem one. The start of the day, I start off with a problem. Waking up in the morning. Problem two. What am I going to wear today? Another problem. Problem three. What am I going to eat today? What am I going to do today? Who am I going to sit next to? Who am I going to talk to? We have problem after problem after problem. If you look at it, right, our lives are always problems and solving problems. So we wake up and we have to do something. So what do? Problem. And we come up with an idea. I'm going to do my homework in the morning. Solution. The moment you go to the solution, next up, you have another problem. Where's my pencil case? Then you find a solution. And then again, another problem pops up. See, we go through life for looking at problems and solution of problems. See, right now, if you go to school, you have a large number of problems due to school. Once you go to university, college, again, you can have a large amount of problems when you're in university and college. And then when you get a job, whatever job you get, your dream job, a job that you least wanted, it doesn't matter. The moment you start doing your job, the moment you get told you get the job, now a large amount of problems appear from there. So doesn't that mean our lives are basically problems and looking for solutions for these problems? Problems and looking for solutions. Think about it. School ends at 3:30, let's say. The moment school ends, problem. What am I going to do? The moment you have dinner, problem. When am I going to go to sleep? See, throughout however old you have been, how many years you have lived for, your life was always problems and looking for solutions. Now the question is, are these solutions the correct solution? What I mean is, so we have problems and we try to look for solutions, and when we look for the solution, does the problem actually disappear? Because think about it, right? Imagine you're doing a maths exam and you answer question 1, 2, 3, 4, and when you look back at question 1, it's again empty. And so again, you answer question number 1, you look at question 2, oh, empty. You can answer that as well. You look at 3, empty. 4, empty. 5, empty. And number 1, empty. Because look at it, right? So most of you, I'm guessing, are teenagers, and through my experience, I know that teenagers love listening to music. But when we listen to music, don't we always have to listen to the same song again? Not one after each other, but after some time. So think about it. Your favorite song. Don't you have to listen to that favorite song again? Don't you have to watch that same episode again? Think about it, right? I remember I did this quite a few times, right? I remember I watched a film and I enjoyed watching the film. So I decided the next day to watch it again. But this time, I skipped out all the parts that I thought, they were like when a problem happened. I tried skipping these problems. And so basically, if you do that, you go from the start, you look at the start for like 5 minutes, and then you skip a couple of 10 minutes, you skip 10 minutes, and then you go another 15 minutes, and you watch the end. If life had no problems, if this film had no problems, you wouldn't watch the film. I found when you did that, the film wasn't as interesting as it was before. If you got rid of problems, the film wasn't interesting. So we need problems. But the thing is the way we answer to these problems the correct way? Because we don't want to go sit through that maths exam again. We don't want to sit through our exams again. We want to sit through it once, and that's it. Move on. But the problems we come up in life, do we have to go again, and again, and again, and again? Just take a moment and reflect on your life. Where are the solutions? See, sometimes what we don't understand is you and I and everyone in this world are all going through some sort of problem in life. But what we don't understand is, you and I are going through different problems, but it's still problems. For example, do you know what's going on in your friend's life? Everything that's going on in your friend's life? Of course not. Of course you don't. If you did, it'll be a bit strange, right? But you don't. You don't know what's going on with your best friend's life. You don't know what's going on in a stranger's life. See, if you have all these problems, like literally just take a moment and look at the amount of problems you have. So say you are, 15, 16 years old. You know that you have a very important test coming up. When you're 17, 18 years old, you know that you've got another important test coming up. When you go to university, you know that tests are coming up, important tests. Maybe when you get that job interview, you know that interview is coming up. So you've got tons of problems, and so does the person next to you. You see, if we understand that we have problems, and the person next to us also has problems, and we don't know how much problems the other person has. Think about it. Some people may think other people's lives are easy, but only when you go and step into their lives, you understand that their lives aren't easy. Their lives is as difficult, or sometimes even more difficult than I am, than mine is. It's only when you step into their shoes that you understand how fortunate you are. You see, I remember I used to have a friend, and he was a good friend. And I was surprised because he was happy a lot of the time. Like once, there was a small argument between a couple of friends, and he was cornered. He was pushed away. And I saw that, and I approached him and asked him, what happened? How are you? You look like you used to have a smile on your face, now you don't. And that's when he started to open up and say, look, mate, my mother's ill. She's in hospital. We don't know what's caused her illness. It could be something terminal. She could die. My brother's, he's doing his very important exam, and he's not working as hard. Instead of working hard, he's going to parties. I'm telling him not to, but he doesn't listen. My sister, she is locked up in her own world. She doesn't come out of her bedroom. I continue asking her to do it, but to come out and talk to us, but she stays locked in. And then I was surprised, because he usually has the biggest smile on his face. He had the biggest smile on his face every single time. And then I asked him, how long has that been going for? Because I saw that he was being bullied as well. So I asked him, how long has all these problems been going for? He said his mother has been ill for a couple of months. His brother, obviously, the entire year. His sister for 2-3 years. And he's been bullied since year 7 or 7th grade. But yet, he had the biggest smile on. It was then I understood. People are born actors. People can act very well. They can plaster a smile on their face, but inside, they are deeply hurt. Inside, they are deeply hurt, but they plaster a smile on their face. So we have no idea what sort of problems the other person's going through. And if we add one other problem to their lives, how do you think that's going to affect them? How do you think it's going to affect them? You see, I have problems. You have problems. We all have problems. And we are always looking for the solution. Sometimes our solution for problems is just forget the problem. Like we all know, problems cannot be forgotten. Problems will come back up in the end. Just think about it. What do you do to solve your problems? Because there are various ways. Some people will go to extremes to solve their problems. They'll do anything to solve their problems. They'll take anything, any measure to solve their problems. So, if you have problems, and I have problems, if we all have problems, how can you give another problem to someone else? How can you give another problem to someone else? How? You see, there are some people in this world, I hope none of you are like that, but who give a lot of problems to others. Because of what? Because they think it's fun. They think it's funny to see someone upset. Funny to see someone in distress. But it isn't. Is it? You see, before you do something, just take a moment and step into their shoes. Step into their shoes and live life as them for a minute. Just before you do it. As the famous quote goes, treat others as you would like them to treat you. So, if you want to give them problems, then be my guest. Give them problems. If you want them to make you the happiest person alive, then make sure you make them the happiest person alive. The way you treat others is how they're going to treat you. Like, think about it. Let's say you are with a good friend, right? And this good friend, he helps you a lot, or she helps you a lot. She gives you a part of her meal at lunchtime. She helps you with homework. She compliments you every morning, let's say. And let's say all you do is just shrug. So she gives you a part, you take it and you just shrug. She compliments you and all you do is shrug. She helps you with homework and instead of saying thank you, just shrug. What do you think is going to happen to your friendship? What do you think is going to happen? Treat others the way you would like to be treated. Eventually, she's not going to help you. She is unable to help you. So, if you have problems, and if I have problems, and if this whole world had problems, then take a moment to step into their shoes and just be who they are for a minute and see yourself doing that to them. So imagine you're the person, you're the one who's helping your friend, and he or she just shrugs. Not even a thank you. Not a compliment, no, nothing. What would you do? You see, I would say take a moment and try to imagine living with yourself. As in, like, you yourself is a different person and you have to live with this person. So just imagine, right, you come home one day and somehow they cloned you and your clone is now living with you. Can you live with your clone? You might think, obviously, because my clone likes the same things as I do. He likes playing on my PlayStation. He likes playing on the Xbox. He likes the same music as I do. And so I'm going to have a good time with him. Right? Of course. Your clone will have the same interests as you. But then your clone has the same faults as you. So if you're short temper, your clone also has a short temper. If you're annoying, your clone is also annoying. If you hurt other people's feelings, then the clone will definitely hurt your feelings as well. Literally, just take a moment and just live with yourself. See if you can live with yourself. And then realize, number one, how great are the people around you to be able to live with you. Just take a moment and appreciate that they are able to live with you. They're happy to live with you. Because obviously, we all have our flaws. We all have our faults. That's what makes us all unique. But can you live with your flaws? You see, what I'm trying to tell you guys are, just make sure you don't give other people problems. Because we don't want problems ourselves. Don't give what you don't want. See, that may seem so easy, right? Obviously, you don't give other people problems. But look at the amount of problems you give others. It's not just friends, siblings, family, relatives, teachers, head teachers. Maybe in school you've learnt about pulleys. Right? In physics we learn about pulleys, as I remember. Pulleys are things that remove the weight or decrease the amount of force that is needed to pull something up. So say you have a weight and you have a pulley. So if you had to lift up this weight, say this weight is 500 kilograms and you had a single pulley. Now it is easier to lift it up, but when you have two pulleys, it becomes easier. The weight decreases in half as I remember. So just take a moment and check. Are you a weight to other people, or are you a pulley? Are you helping others, or are you dragging people down? What are you doing? Are you helping or dragging them down? Are you becoming heavier every single day, or are you becoming lighter? See, if you become heavier, then think about it, right? If you become heavier, the people trying to lift you up, obviously you have to take much bigger effort, but then also you yourself are going to have to take an effort to move. To move, you yourself has to take extra effort. So say right now you weigh 70 kilos, right? And say one day you now weigh 100 kilos. The person who's trying to help you has to take extra effort, but you yourself have to carry that 100 kilos. You have to walk with 100 kilos. You yourself are heavier, and that's a burden to not just others, but to you yourself. So, don't give other people problems. We live a life, a very fortunate life. You are all very lucky to live a life like you have. Obviously, you've probably heard this from many teachers, many parents, tons of people. But you are extremely lucky. Because there'll be people in this world who have tons more problems than you do. I remember reading a book called, as I remember, 13 Reasons Why. I think it was made into a TV series, I'm not sure. But as I remember, it was a book about, as I remember, it's about a girl called Hannah Baker. Don't quote me. I can't remember, but something like that. Who ended her life. And she sent out, back in the old days they used cassettes, right? She sent out cassettes, I think 7 cassettes, there you go. 7 cassettes, and you have both sides, right? With 13 reasons why she did it. As I remember, reason number 1. As I remember, it was something as simple as a small joke at school. Oh yeah, no, I think it was reason number 2, I think. It was a small joke that they did at school. You know how we joke about other people in school, like write down notes and send it off to others. So this person is like this. She looks like a horse. She looks like a cow. I don't know, whatever you write down. And she read this, and to be honest, it was a compliment. It was a compliment. But the only problem is, in her eyes, it was not a compliment. It was something that pushed her to ending her life. So what we do can have a great effect on other people's lives. I remember reason number 13. She goes to her teacher and tells her teacher that she has all these problems. What should he do? What should she do? Oh no, she talks about one problem. She goes to the teacher and says, "Sir, this happened to me. What should I do?" And all the teacher said was, "Just forget about it. It's not a big deal. It happens to everyone." And that was the last chance. That was the match to light the bomb. Boom. And next week, they get a letter saying Hannah Baker had ended her life. You see, all of our lives are interweaved with one another. Just like a spider's web, right? We are all connected. What we do can affect someone. It will affect, so you guys obviously seen spider webs, right? You pull one string and break one thread. What happens to the spider web? Some parts would just break and leave a small hole, but some threads, if you break, the entire spider web collapses. Each of our lives are intertwined with one another, finally. Our lives can affect each other so much. You've all probably heard about the butterfly effect, haven't you? For the people who haven't, the butterfly effect is a theory where if a butterfly flaps its wings in the Amazon forest all the way on the other side of the world, there would be a tornado, a cyclone, a hurricane, whatever you call them. There will be a tornado. Now, that may seem like, no, it can't be. It's impossible. A butterfly can make a hurricane? A tornado? No, it can't be. So a group of scientists got together, as I remember, and they decided to simulate a world, one with butterflies and one without butterflies. And they found out the one with butterflies had 20% or higher more hurricanes, more tornadoes. So even a small butterfly flap can make all of that. It's just a small butterfly. So your words, your actions can do a big difference. Why? Because you and I and everyone has problems. Take a moment and check. Are you being a burden? Are you giving problems to others, or are you relieving problems for others? Again, going back to the book 13 Reasons Why, the boy who gets the tapes, he finally sees a person who was in his class who had changed in a bad perspective. And he decided, after hearing what happened to Hannah Baker, decided to help her. Because your smile can make the difference. Your smile can be life and death to some people. Your comments can be life and death to some people. Why? Because of problems. I don't know about you, but sometimes when I went out in the town, I'd go randomly, and obviously it wasn't something that I did normally, but like when a friend dared me, I remember going to a grandmother, so an elderly woman, and complimenting her hair. And that day, I saw something which I couldn't explain. That grandmother had the biggest smile on her face, just because of one compliment. And it wasn't something that I decided to do. It was my friend, we were playing a game, and he said, okay, I dare you to go up to a stranger and randomly compliment them. So I did. I went up to this elderly woman and said, excuse me, but your hair looks lovely. And she had the broadest grin on her face. She was smiling so much and said, thank you. You have made my entire day. So, what are you doing? Are you giving problems or solving problems for others? Are you giving problems or solving problems for others? So when someone says, how's life? What is your answer? It's good? Well, you can say it's good, but inside you now know that life is full of problems, and I'm looking for solutions. I'm looking for the solution for these problems. So what is the solution? What is the solution for your problems? You actually just take a moment and write down, if you have a pen and paper in front of you, some of the problems you have. And remember, it's not just you, but everyone in this world also has problems. Some people will have the same problems as you do. But what makes us all unique? We all have different problems. And we all have different solutions. So, if so, what are you going to do? So you've got problems, and now you're looking for solutions. What are your solutions? Okay. Define insanity. Define insanity. What does it mean to be crazy? What does it mean? Insanity is when you do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. It's expecting a different result. So the question is, are you insane? Are you guys insane? Do you do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result? Think about it. You have problems, and you look for solutions. But you do the solution over and over and over again. Don't we? Think about it. Put your hand up like ice cream. According to what I've heard, the only way to keep most people happy is by selling ice cream. From what I've heard. So we'll take ice cream because according to what I've heard, that ice cream is something that everyone likes. So I'll take ice cream. So if you don't like ice cream, I'm sorry, but take another example that you guys like. So if you like chocolate, chocolate. If you like pizza, pizza. Whatever. How often do you have to eat your favorite food to be happy? So think about it, right? Problem. You have a problem. I want to eat ice cream. Right? Now what is the solution? You go up to your mom, please, please, please can I have some money? Please can I have some money to go to the ice cream van and buy some ice cream? That's solution A. B, save up. C, you guys have loads of solutions for this. And then you have to go to the ice cream van, buy some ice cream, and then you have this ice cream, and then the very next day, you guys want more ice cream. So now for half of the world, it's summer, it's hot, and ice cream will come to mind. So as I remember, for Britain and for America, Canada, it's summer. And unless I'm mistaken, it's very warm. And so you may want to have an ice cream. But how often do you have to have ice cream to be happy? You see, I remember back when I was away, right? Back when I went to school. On October the 31st, what is it? Halloween. Halloween was a time where, if you don't know, I'm pretty sure you all do, but if you don't, Halloween is a time where you go out dressed in a costume and you go around trick-or-treating, where you get candy or chocolate or sweets or whatever. Now, so first of all, we had a problem. We want to have sweets. We want to have chocolates. We want to have all these things. And then we have the solution. Halloween. So you go around begging, go around trick-or-treating. Obviously, it's not sort of begging, right? You're not begging at all. It's trick-or-treating, right? So you go trick-or-treating. You go house to house, knocking on doors, say trick-or-treat, and get some sweets, right? And usually by the end of the night, we get bagfuls of chocolates, sweets, and nice things, right? Now, I remember my father, right? He used to always tell us, don't eat all of them today. So you can imagine, right? As little kids, when little kids get chocolates, we stuff ourselves until we become sick. But what our father used to always say is, don't. Take just one a day. And at first, we didn't listen to him, for the first couple of years. We tried to, but obviously it was irresistible. So we had more. And then eventually, after a couple of years, what we'd do is we'll put them all in one bag and hide it, but our hiding places weren't so good, and so our dad takes it and hides it somewhere else and gives us one a day. But what I did notice was, when I stuffed myself, I was sick. I was sick of chocolate. I was sick of sweets. But then, the very next day, I wanted more. The very next day, I wanted more. So I stuffed myself until I couldn't stand the sight of chocolate. Literally, until I was sick. But the very next day, can I have some more? Like Oliver Twist. Please, sir, can I have some more? So is that a solution? Is that an actual solution? When I want something, I go stuff myself with it. Is that a solution? Music. For all those people who are addicted to music. Yes, it's an addiction. And I was also a victim. Can you live without it? Is that not also a problem? That you can't live without music? For those who like watching your favorite TV series, don't you have to watch that series? Every episode of that series? Just a statistics that I found pretty interesting. Just take a moment and look at the amount of time you spend watching TV or on your phone, on social media. I remember the average human spends around 6 to 8 hours on the TV, on watching TV, on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, so on and so forth. So say, let's take the maximum, or let's say just take the minimum. 6 hours. Right? 6 hours every single day. 6 hours every single day. Okay, that's fine. We take our entire life. So, we know a sixth is a quarter of 24 hours. Right? It's a quarter. So doesn't that mean we spend a quarter of our lives watching what? Watching other people's lives. We spend a quarter of our lives watching other people's lives. Very interesting, isn't it? You spend a quarter of your life, right? The life that has been given to you, the life that you spend solving your problems so you can be happy, but you spend a quarter of it watching other people's lives. I don't know about you, but I think that is also a bit insane. Why don't we look at our own lives for that quarter, but we look at other people's lives? I'm just saying, it was very interesting. A quarter. So, say we live up to the grand age of 80. That means we spend continuously 20 whole years in front of the TV, in front of this phone, in front of Facebook, in front of Snapchat, in front of Instagram, in front of TikTok, in front of Twitter, all these things. 20 entire years of your life. 20. 20. Put your hand up if you're 20 years old. Put your hand up if you're less than 20 years old. You spend your entire life in front watching other people's lives. Like to make it worse, right? So 20 years you spend doing what? Watching other people's lives. 20 years you spend doing what? Also, you spend sleeping. If we take that you sleep 6 hours, right? The absolute minimum of 6 hours, right? You spend 20 years asleep. So you spend half of your lives watching other people's lives and asleep, which gives you another 40 years to do everything else. No wonder we don't find solutions. No wonder, because we only have half our lives. You see, if we ask most people how they work to achieve what they want, what do? I remember once my father, right, he took me to a very wealthy person, right, because my dad wanted me to become rich and basically to be happy being rich, right? So I can have money and be happy having money. And so he took me to a very wealthy man, and he said, it was one of his friends, and so he said, my good friend, look, this is my son. What would you tell him you should do to become rich? And what he said was, I'm going to tell you something, not just to become rich. I'm going to tell you something to have a good life. What is it? You're not telling me the way to become rich. He's telling me to have a good life. And he said, son, you probably watch X amount of hours on TV. Now watching TV. X amount of hours on your phone. Reduce it. Just reduce 1 hour or 2. That's it. There, you can find happiness. You can find a way to become rich. You can find a way to achieve what you want if you just reduce 2 hours off of that. It's a miracle. Just 2 hours. That's what he did. And 2 hours became his entire life. So he stopped watching it. He stopped doing all these things. And he worked towards his goal. And within no time, he became rich. He became wealthy. So you and I have problems. You and I and everyone has problems. And we spend another quarter of our lives thinking about what? Other people's problems. So your life is completely based on your problems, and you spend another quarter of your life. So your life, we take that as X, because we don't know how long we'll live, right? Plus a quarter of X. Why? Because you spend your entire life, and also you spend a quarter of your entire life looking at other people's problems. Don't you think our entire life is just problems after problem after problem after problem? Do you not want an escape? Just for once, just go, wait, just give me a minute. I'm going to have a minute without problems. See, as I remember, for most of you, I know, especially for Britain, the UK, you're coming up to the summer holidays or the summer vacation, where we get about a month or a month and a half of holidays. See, before that holiday, your problem is, when is the holiday going to be there? And then once you're in the holidays, I don't want the holidays to end. When is it going to end? When is it going to end? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. We have problems after problems after problems after problems. Do you not want to have a break? Just a time where you go like, stop, wait a minute, and have a small time without problems? Literally, can you take a moment and smell the flowers? Do you have that much time you have? Do you have that much time just to stop and smell the flowers? Or do you have problems after problems after problems after problems? So how's life? The answer to how's life, the only answer you can give is it's problems. Just look. Whenever you have the time, look. Look and see the problems you have in life. Am I growing? Am I too fat? Am I too thin? Am I too short? Am I too tall? Do you think I'm going to get this amount of percentage in my test? Am I going to get this phone? Am I going to get this? Am I going to get that? Will I be able to become friends with him? Will I be able to become friends with her? Will X happen? Will Y happen? Will there be a World War III? Again, problems that we have. Just take a moment and stop. Just stop having these problems. And there you can be happy. We all know, right? Problems are things that make us unhappy, right? We don't like problems. That's why we don't want to stay with problems. That's why we do things to get out of problems. We don't like problems. So we know, right? If problems are things that make us sad, unhappy, that means the opposite of problems will make us happy. The absence of problems will make you happy. So find a way to not just solve your problems, to completely destroy, completely annihilate your problems. I'm pretty sure that I've said the word problems like more than 100 or 200 times. But that's not enough. The amount of problems you have in life is more than just 200, 300. If you think about it. Every moment you have a sort of problem with you. Find a way to stop it all. Find a way and to say, you know what, that's enough. I don't want any more problems. Is there a way? Is there a way that is the solution, the one and the end solution, the end game? Is that? Just go back, far back, to the moment, that the last memory you have, the first memory you have. And look if there was an actual solution for your problems. Go through and look at all the films you've watched and see if anyone has found the solution. Has anyone found the solution? Is the solution in space? If we were able to go to Mars, is that the solution? Or is that the start of new problems? Are quantum computers the solution to our problems? Or the start of new problems? I remember I was told that technology is advancing at drastic speed. So I was told, we learned at school that computers normally worked with zeros and ones, right? And scientists have found a way to use quantum physics. So, for people who don't know what that is, right? Basically, something could be there or not there, and even half there and half not there. So various states. So they found a way, they're trying to look for a way to use that to make these computers called quantum computers. Thinking that it will solve our problems, that our computers are not fast enough, that we're gonna find a way to do all this. But then the moment they made the first prototype, they came up with a problem. If they made quantum computers that are hundreds of thousands of times faster than the computer that you use today, then people can hack into literally the Pentagon in less than 3 seconds. Hack into something as advanced as the Pentagon in less than 3 seconds. That's how fast it is. So the creation for a solution, the answer to a solution, was actually the start of a new problem. Think about it, right? The solution was actually a problem. You're looking for a solution, but instead you get a problem. It's almost like the problem is actually disguised as a solution, and once you choose the solution, it takes off its costume, right? It takes off its disguise and go, surprise, not a solution, I'm a problem. So, you and I and everyone has problems. If so, has anyone in this world found the solution? Think about every single person you've known. Your parents, have they found a solution? Your teachers, have they found a solution? Your friends, have they found solutions? Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Nelson Mandela, Hitler, have they found solutions? And just before you give up all hope, saying, no, there are no solutions. No, there are solutions. There are solutions. A full stop. There are full stops out there that you use, and the end. Done, dusted. No more. Think about it, right? If I told you to run, what is the first question that comes to your head? So I'm saying, ready? On your marks, get set, go. What's the first question that comes to your head? To where? Okay, I'm being told to run, but to where? Don't you feel like you're running, but you don't know where to? Where is the finish line? Where is the end? Where is the full stop? Where is the end? Where is the full stop? Where is the conclusion? Is it in book 1, book 2, book 3, book 4, book 5? Where is the solution? Where is the end goal? Where is the finish line? Okay. You can just think for a minute. What do you want to be when you grow older? The question that is asked by everyone. What do you want to be when you grow older? Obviously, most of you will take a profession on the high end, so doctor, lawyer, engineer, accountant, so on and so, banker, so on and so forth. But is that the end goal? Becoming a lawyer, becoming a doctor, becoming an engineer, is that the end goal? So once you become who you want to become, is that it? Are you done? Thank you. You wash your hands and you leave. Is that the end goal? Is that the solution? Is it the amount of money you earn? Is that the end goal? So, for every one of you who earns pocket money, now one, you're pretty lucky because you earn pocket money, because you get to earn money. But number two, how much do you have to earn to have enough? So I remember we didn't get pocket money, but our parents did give us money and for various things, and we had a small can which we put the money in. Right? At first, we're counting how much we put inside. So back in the UK, we had pounds and pennies, right? So first one was a pound, £2, £1.50, and we eventually hope until we get £5, and then we get £5, and the moment we get £5, we then want 10, and so we continue filling this up until we get £10, and then £15, and then to a third 20, and then 50, then 100, then 200. So where is the end goal? So that's pocket money. Now when you grow older, that's when you start earn thousands or hundreds or millions, right? Where's the end goal? So where can you say, when I earn X amount, that's it. I want to stop it all. I want to then, from then onwards, I'm going to enjoy life. So can you say, when I earn $1 billion, when I earn 1 billion pounds, when I earn 1 billion of whatever currency, is that okay? I'm done. Thank you very much. I quit. I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that. I'm gonna now live my life happy because I have $1 billion. Is that the end goal? Is that the finish line? No. It's the cars, right? You want your dream car and then that's it. I've wondered if you guys seen this photo where it's a person who's walking. He looks to his left and sees a bicycle, and he wishes, you know what, I really want that bicycle. And the person on the bicycle looks to his left and sees a person on a motorbike and thinking, I want a motorbike. And the person on the motorbike looks to his left and sees a car and says, I want a car. The person on the car looks to his left and sees a pretty good car and says, I want that, I really wish I had that car. The person in that car looks to his left and wants a sports car. The person on a sports car looks left and sees a person, I think he was with a helicopter. And the person in the helicopter looks to his left and sees a person in a jet. The person on the jet looks to his left and sees a rocket. And that was the end of the picture, but the person in the rocket, he will also look to his left and he'll find something. Because the finish line doesn't end there. The finish line doesn't end there. The solution to your problems don't end there. Not the money. Not the cars. Friends. Okay, friends. Followers. So for all of you who've got social media, the amount of friends or followers you have, when is it enough? When will you stop posting? How many likes would you want until you say, you know what, I don't want any more likes, don't want any more comments? When can you delete your account? So where is the finish line? So you're running extremely fast. You're running than Usain Bolt, or whoever the fastest man on earth is. You're running faster than Flash, but to where? Somewhere. Not to your finish line. So where is your finish line? Where is it? Where is the solution to all your problems? Where is it? Where is it? There has to be a solution somewhere. And I'm telling you, there are solutions. The question is, are you willing to go for that solution? Do you have the courage to go to that solution? Do you have the determination, the enthusiasm? Do you have the commitment? You see, there's a difference between interest and commitment. What is it? When you're interested, when you have interest, you only do it when it seems convenient. But when you're committed, you accept no excuse, only results. So are you committed? Will you give the commitment to find the solutions? Will you? Will you go no matter how hard it is and achieve the solution? Will you? Another famous quote that I absolutely love. One that I absolutely love. Thinking is wise, because only the wise can think. Planning is wiser. But of course, doing is the wisest of them all. Because only the wise can think. Because humans, we have the ability to think. doesn't mean that we do. To have the ability to think doesn't mean we do. But to think, you need to be wise. But obviously, there are a lot of thinkers on the couch. They're called couch thinkers, as I remember. They sit on the couch and they think. Because I've known, think about it, look at your lives and look at people you know. How many people want to change or do something, but they just sit down and think, you know what, one day I'm going to do this, one day I'm going to do that, one day I'm going to do this. Because anyone can think. Well, only the wise can think, not anyone, only the wise can think. But if you plan, you're wiser. Because when you plan, you have something extra than just thinking. You want to do it, and so you now make it possible. If I told you to read 350 books, what would you say? And each of these books are around 300 pages long. What would you say? You crazy? 300 books? That's like an entire library. How can I read a library? You see, what happens if I just say, if you plan it right, all you have to do is read 5 pages a day. And in no time, you can read 300 books. That's why planning is wiser. But anyone can think, anyone can plan. But doing is the wisest of them all. I remember every year, start of every year, so either December 31st or the 1st of January. Because we have problems, right? We try to look for solutions. So we make New Year's resolutions. And I have made New Year's resolutions pretty much since I could remember. And so I remember once just researching about it, just like tapped on Google, and Google gave me some statistics saying only 97 or 95% of people actually make New Year's resolutions. So that made me feel very special. I'm in a top 5%, okay? But then Google then also said only 2% actually complete their New Year's resolutions. And, well, think about it, it's true, right? How many of you actually make New Year's resolutions and actually complete them? I know that I didn't. Every year, literally 9 times out of 10, I didn't complete these goals, these resolutions. Because I wasn't committed, because I wasn't willing. So, I'm asking you, are you willing to find the solution? Are you committed to find the solution? If so, I'll tell you that there is a solution. And I hope I will be able to talk to you all every month and give you the solution. Every month, I'm told that every month on Poya, on the Poya full moon days, I have the privilege. It's a privilege, I'm telling you. It's definitely a privilege to be able to talk to each and every one of you. I may not know who you are, but it is definitely my honor to be able to talk to each and every one of you. It's definitely an honor, right? I'll tell you why as well. Because I know for a fact, none of you, absolutely none of you, are good people. Well, what were you expecting? To say you're good people? None of you are good people. I know that. Because you aren't. Because you're far better than good. Good does not suit who you are. It will never suit who you are. Good will just demean, or it will just deign the actual you. You're not good people, you're great people. So that's why it's an honor, and it's my great honor to help you. While I'm looking for this, while I'm going towards my goal, I'll help you achieve yours too. So I hope I'll be able to talk with you, to preach to each and every one of you, every month on Poya. And I hope you at least had the one question in your head that I have problems, I want to find a solution. And understood that, you know what? Problems. We all have problems. I don't want to give a problem to anyone else. I don't want to make anyone else's life more worse than it is. I want to make other people happy. I hope that's something that you got out of this. And I hope you enjoyed the time here. And also I'd like to request, right, if you have any questions for the future, you can drop the questions in the comments, because I know this is in YouTube, right? So down below, scroll up and get comments, and you can post any questions, and I'll try my best to answer the questions to the fullest I possibly can. And I'll try not to be biased or to have any favoritism or anything, right? I'll answer each and every question if I possibly, to the fullest I possibly can. Because I'm here to help you, and you're here to help me. It's a give and get world. It's a supply and demand world. Okay, so if you have any questions, put it into the comments below. And again, you guys are great people, each and every one of you. So stay great. Okay. So that brings us to the end of today's program. Today's and I hope you learned something. And I hope that whatever I've told you, whatever I've preached, will help you change your life to become a good person. Not a good person, a great person, a better person than you were last time. Than you were 1-2 hours ago. And also, this is a new experience for me as well. So I have never talked to a camera before, and it's the first time for everything, right? You can have it was fun. Okay. Then, before we conclude, let's take a few moments to transfer merits. Conclude. Let's take a moment to transfer the merits we've all acquired by making offerings to the infinite virtues of Noble Triple Gem, chanting Pith, listening to Dharma, and engaging in various meritorious deeds today. First and foremost, let's remind ourselves how incredibly fortunate we are to be in receipt of Lord Buddha's teachings, And with immense gratitude, let's transfer the merits to the Bhikshus, Bhikshunis, Upasakas, who since time immemorial have protected and preserved the sublime teaching of the Buddha and passed it down to a generation of no lineage in the form of Tripitaka, which is thankfully available to us today to study, to understand, to comprehend Dharma. Let's all take a moment, chant the merits, all we've acquired, to all the members of Mahasangha present throughout the world, including the chief plates of all the chapters, who dedicate their lives to no path and committed themselves towards the betterment of all sentient beings. Let's not forget that among them will be the monks and nuns resident in your local temples and nunneries, who have always been by your side through thick and thin, come rain or shine. Let's also take a moment, transfer merits to Guru Sarananse, as well as the other monks resident at the monastery, as well as the Anagarikas attached to the monastery. Let's all take a moment, transfer merits and express our gratitude to those who made great efforts to disseminate the teaching of the Buddha, be that by translating these sermons, sharing them out with others, inviting others to join them. May through the power of the merits, if any of them be born in the willful plane, may they redeem themselves in born in the bliss of pain. May through the power of the merits, may they abstain from their meritorious deeds, fulfill the meritorious deeds, fulfill the noble foot path, and attain Supreme Bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let's all take more transfer merits, all we've required to our devotees, friends in the monastery, who for sake of merits continue to sustain the Mahasangha. This includes every one of you who have contributed to the construction of the monastery, to those of you who provide the Mahasangha with shelter, alms, robes, medicines, as well as those who pass on their know-how, extend their well wishes. May the power of the merits, may they abstain from their meritorious deeds, fulfill their meritorious deeds, fulfill the noble foot path, and attain Supreme Bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let's all take more and transfer merits to our mothers, fathers, husbands and wives, brothers and sisters, sons, daughters, and grandparents, uncles, aunts, cousins, nephews, nieces, our elders, friends and acquaintances, employees, and to all those who helped us, support, assist us in any way, shape, or form. By the power of the merits, may they be healed of any physical, mental ailments. May they overcome any obstacles to their spiritual progress. May they abstain from their meritorious deeds, fulfill the meritorious deeds, fulfill the noble foot path, and attain Supreme Bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let's all take more and transfer merits to the devas, brahmins, spirits, demons, primary sakradevas, as well as numerous gods and deities who have committed to protect and fulfill the Sambuddha Sasana. Let's all take more and transfer merits to our guardian deities, who kept a watchful eye over us and keep us out of harm's way. May the power of the merits, may they prosper in divine power and wisdom. May they abstain from their meritorious deeds, fulfill the meritorious deeds, fulfill the noble foot path, and attain the Supreme Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let us also take more and transfer merits to our ancestors who predeceased us, to all those who have been families, friends, acquaintances in this infinitely long journey into samsara, and to all those who helped us, support, assist us in any way they could. Let's take more and transfer merits. Let's all take more and transfer merits to the members of the armed forces, as the police force, who have sacrificed their lives to protect the peace and harmony of our nation. May all those who lost lives in war, be their friend or foe, rejoice in the merits we have acquired today. Let's also take more and transfer merits to all those who lost lives in natural calamities such as tsunamis, earthquakes, landslides, pandemics, reminding ourselves among them will be those who have been family, friends to us in this long journey in samsara. Let's take more and transfer merits to them. May the power of the merits, if any have been born in the willful plane, may they redeem themselves in born in the bliss of pain. May the power of the merits, may they abstain from their meritorious deeds, fulfill the meritorious deeds, fulfill the noble foot path, and attain Supreme Bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Finally, let's all resolve, may the power and blessing of all the merits we require today. We bear witness the event of many hundreds of thousands of arahats on this blessed land. And finally, may the power of all the merits we require today, you and I and everyone who made this program a success, become Arhat Manse, or Arhat Mahin Manse, in this very life, in the era of the Gautama Supreme Buddha itself. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May the blessings of Nam Chipujam be with you all.